get us started. Well, good morning, everyone. Thanks for joining our call today. Shortly here, I'm going to give the screen over here to Annette, and she's going to walk us through our payroll upgrades. But first, I want to take a moment and just acknowledge Pat and Annette and the whole accounting and payroll team for their efforts in improving our payroll system. We rolled this out a few months ago, and it's been very good with a couple of minor downgrades, and we've been working ever since to fix those. So many of those have been addressed, and that's part of what we're going to show you today. But they've worked diligently and not let this go by the wayside. This has truly been a great rollout in the sense that it's helped operations be more effective in processing payroll and more timely, and also helped the payroll department in their processing payroll. So it's been, more effective. So, am I supposed to be making you the presenter or someone else?
Me.
Okay. All right, I'm going to go ahead and do that, and you can show your screen so everybody can.
Okay, so can everybody see the screen?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to show you, I think, two things and then maybe possibly a third. The biggest thing that I think we wanted to talk about today was the ability that now if somebody goes to the time clock and they work in a different department, and the branch doesn't automatically change. Well, now the enhancement is there so that there's a program that runs in the background every hour, so that if as you can see on my screen, I've set it up so that Jason has incorrect branches with the department. So like for the first one, it looks like Department 25 and Branch 1, which we know that is not correct. A lot of the problems seem to be with renovation. They put in the right department, which is 51, but the branch never gets changed, and that should be Branch 16. So I've set this up, and then I'm going to manually run a routine in the background so that it will automatically update this, and you'll see so that GMs won't have to make these changes anymore. So if my assistant will run this in the background now, I'd appreciate it. That's Charlotte. She's going to run it from her computer. Should just take a couple seconds.
It's running.
Okay. We'll go to the pay adjustment, and then we'll go back to the time card, and hopefully it will be updated. Not yet. When we tested this yesterday and today, it worked pretty quick, so hopefully it's going to work. It does say that it spools it and it runs. It says that it will run every hour, but we're forcing it right now, so hopefully it will queue it real quick here. Things never work when you want them to work, I guess.
You want to go ahead and show them the report? We can do that and come back and see it.
Okay. What we did on Monday, once we found out that the time cards were going to update the branch, I'm sorry, not the branch, but the room cleaned and suites cleaned, I went through and created the time cards for all the properties so that they could have access to it. So I'm just going to show you a sample of one that I'd already created over here. So hopefully let me pull it up here. So here's two examples that you can see. The first one, when they work Department 272 for room hours, then the rooms and the suites show up consecutively underneath that. Can everybody see that? The 261 and 262, we've got our rooms and our suites. So then you can run this report at any time to see if somebody's not clocked in, or I'm sorry, not entered in their rooms or their suites at the clock, and you can add accordingly. Then down here, what I have circled is that the rooms and the suites are calculating what the earnings are, so that you can see that as well. What we have noticed is that if anybody works Department 272, even though the regular hours show up here, it's not going to show up the earnings because they're only being paid at 0.001. But as you see on the next example over here, somebody that just worked any department other than 272, you can see their earnings period to date for that time frame. So if I go back to Stratus Time and pull up any of these time cards, we'll be able to see. I don't know.
Yeah, if go ahead and look at DoubleTrees.
Okay. I didn't run hers, but I'll look at, we'll look at Milwaukee.
Somebody with vacation.
Oh, Charlotte, did Milwaukee have vacation? No. Okay, but as you see here, this is holiday pay. So if they had vacation, it would show up here as well. Pat wants me to show you somebody that does have vacation time. So
I did that. Hampton and Grand Rapids.
okay, thank you. That was Andrea. She had vacation, so we'll find one of her employees that had vacation.
Under Craig Stinchcomb.
For this pay period?
Yeah. On his lunch report.
What period did you run out through? Like this one's
11/23 through 12/6. This is down there. Who's this? This is for okay. I don't for her either. Okay, hang on. I'll run the report for H947. Because she had vacation. Charlotte gave me a sample. It's showing up. So what's going to show up on these reports is anything in this right-hand column. So we've included vacation, holiday rooms, holiday suites, rooms, and suites. So that's all of that information is going to show up on the time card section.
Hey, Robin.
My computer, I apologize, has been running a little slow this week, so. Okay. Okay, so here Maria Aguilera requested vacation time. So as you can see here on 11/27, she requested 8 hours off. It shows unpaid over here because we've put in vacation pay over here, and her daily rate is that dollar amount. So as you can see, she's got rooms and suites for each day that she worked Department 272. So it'll be a much easier way for you to review your time cards without having to print out that pay adjustment report. And then as you scroll down, you can see that she worked 65.25 hours, the overtime, the requested time off. She got paid 8 hours vacation. That's the computed daily rate. And then over here in the lower left-hand corner, most of you are used to seeing that, is the departments and the branches. We make sure that they balance out and are correct.
So let me interject there. Could you go back to that real quick for me? If you also see in the admin section, you can see her total rooms and her total suites, and you can compare that quickly against your housekeeping tracking sheet to how many rooms and suites that she had, and you can quickly determine if there's any errors, from the total standpoint, and at that point you can go back and investigate if there's an error. But if the total number is correct, you can feel comfortable that she's going to get paid appropriately. So that's a much quicker way instead of going day by day. That's all I had.
Going back to see if my time card has been updated. Okay, it now has been updated. So I don't know if you saw before, but originally the very first day had Department 25, Branch 1, and it's now been auto-corrected to Branch 2. And of course, the renovations, as I said before, has been an issue. So we've got the right branch and the right department. So when that's running correctly, and I've been told that it is, it runs every hour. I'm not sure what time of the day, but so that will be less changes that the GMs or the AGMs have to make.
I believe, Danette, he said that it's going to run about 15 minutes after the hour, because not to slow people down, because most of our clock in and clock outs happen on the hour. So the clock is used heavily there, so it runs after that kind of high use time frame.
Okay. The other thing I guess I was supposed to, well, should I ask if there's any questions?
Sure. You guys, that's something we've been working on. I think that's one of the big challenges been in the payroll, is spending time fixing those branch, making those right, and that's where the bulk of our errors come from. So I really feel this is the last piece to really make this even more efficient and give you more time back in your day. Hope you see that will, and obviously as going forward, we want feedback, because the great thing about NetTime Solutions is they're very flexible, and we're able to make changes. So if you're like, well, I wish it did X, this system it seems like they're able to give us X. Sometimes not as fast as we'd like them to give us what we want, but they've always delivered. So if there's modifications going forward that you're like, that makes a ton of sense, and we look at it, we agree, it's something we can probably get put in. So just keep that in mind. But I think there's a huge upgrade. So go ahead, Dan, unless anybody has any questions.
Okay. I was just also going to say is the errors have greatly reduced over the weeks. Everybody's getting much better at it, and I think, again, with this automatically running in the background, we're going to see fewer and fewer all the time, like almost perfect.
That's the goal.
Yeah. Okay, the other thing that I guess I was supposed to bring up is the approaching weekly overtime report. And if you scroll down on the left-hand side under hours paid, the very first report is approaching weekly overtime report. And Charlotte and I have not gone through and created this for everyone, but it's relatively easy to run. So I'm going to bring it up.
Now this report really only works well for you if you have your schedules in the system.
Yeah, it is a requirement to put your schedule in every week. The one piece of the payroll puzzle that is still outstanding, and that's on me, is a payroll import tool that will speed the process. You can write your schedule in an Excel document like you normally do, and you can post it on the wall, but then you'll be able to import it into this, and it'll auto-populate. I'm actually quite close to executing that. I have to do some more work on it, and quite frankly, I've been pushed away doing some other things, so that's why it's not done. But it will be done. But before that, we still have to be manually putting in our schedules.
Okay, so here under name, you would put the name of your property or what you would like to call it. We normally name it by the property name or the payroll number, and then just click display name as.
Someone silence their phone, please.
And then pick employee filter. And right now I just have it set for active users, but again, you would come down here and pick your property, so you're just looking at that information. The test that I did this morning, it says run for current work week. You can look at any 7-day period, but since our cycle is Monday through Sunday, that's what I chose. And then I came down here and display employees within 16 hours of overtime, which would and then you can create this report so that it will email it to you every day, every other day, whatever you would prefer. And of course, you just come down here and email to me and then put in your email address. And then if you want it scheduled for a certain time of the day to be sent to you, then of course you would pick something down here under the generate. I'm just going to run the schedule right now so we can see, I think.
So what this does, it pulls, actual punches as the week has gone. So someone's had to stay late or what have you, but yet they're scheduled to, incur enough hours to push them into overtime. And sometimes, we're on the fly. If you have this coming to you, say midweek and towards the end of the week, and it would you quickly determine if you need to make a scheduling change to avoid overtime. It's a really effective way of help managing our overtime number with some, maybe more creative scheduling. So.
Okay, so this shows us who, in the first column, it has scheduled hours in the system, and then who is approaching the overtime. So if you look, Kimberly Dalton, she's scheduled for 40 hours. She's worked 24.25 so far this week. If she works the remaining 16 hours that she is due on the schedule, she'll end up with a quarter-of-hour overtime for the week. So like Alexander Ladd, he's only scheduled for 38 hours, and what he's got on the books now, he'll only work then 38.75. Again, this is only going to be, as you know, as good as the scheduler is. So as you can see, not everybody has scheduled hours in the system. So far, do you have any questions on that?
Pretty straightforward.
I did run a report this morning, employees without schedule. Probably don't want me to show you that report, so. That's all I have. If there's no questions or.
All right. Well, thank you, Danette. Does anybody have any questions at all? Pretty straightforward. We hope this really does speed the process up and ensure the payroll is timely processed. And with all that said, we obviously need to do my bit for new hire paperwork. We've had Rob sent out an email a little while ago about getting new hire paperwork in timely. Again, trying to speed the entire, onboarding procedure. More information will be coming out soon about electronic onboarding, and those kinds of things are still in process. But get that paperwork in timely, correct the first time, so we can get employees paid. We all are in a highly competitive job environment. When I travel to hotels, and everybody says, "Well, I can't hire at this hotel," which is I hear at every hotel. So one of the things that we need to make sure that as a good employer, we need to pay people timely and correctly. Because if it was your paycheck, obviously you'd want it to be correct. So please focus on that and ensure that happens smoothly, and continue to make the whole payroll rollout good. Tara had a great question. Will we still be using the labor tool? The answer is yes. What I'm working on is to incorporate the labor tool into the report import. So you basically not change what you're doing with the labor tool. So you do what you do now. It would just generate an import that you could upload into your payroll system. So the goal is to get the schedule up there without you doing any extra work. So it's kind of a one-stop. The idea is that my goal is to, again, with everything I do, is try to give you guys time back. So I'm trying to incorporate something we do already to automatically create this import, and I'll get that done. It's just for me, it's been just a matter of time to get it to sit down and focus on it. So, but that is the idea. Does that answer your question? Yes, good. All right, well, perfect, everybody. Have a great rest of your day, and we'll talk all again soon.